Hello, BookTube and AuthorTube. Today I've got a writing update, um, or I guess a writing Wednesday, which I think rolls off the tongue better than a random writing update on Thursdays. Um, but I haven't done one of these in probably about a month or so, and I've been doing some writing, mostly pre-writing and idea work. I needed to sort of step back and reevaluate a lot of my projects because I just didn't, had issues with them that I needed time and distance, I think, to figure out what I needed to do better with them. So I've been doing that. I've made some progress, and I'm still not entirely sure what I want to do with some of them. So let's work on the projects. So I have about 7 projects I'm kind of interested in doing, which probably would argue against me doing a long series, like say Song of Ice and Fire or anything like that. Um, because I do want to write these projects, and obviously doing longer series would take significant chunks of time that I would not be able to devote to the other projects. So yeah, so I haven't really done much with Akarsha the Sorcerer. I probably should, which was my NaNoWriMo project, or my oft revised NaNoWriMo project from this past year. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. I think, honestly, I don't really have much more to do except for maybe a better world building. I'm not terribly happy with the amount of world building I did. I need to really do more research on the settings that are, or the history and the places that are going to inspire the geography of this particular world. So hopefully I can get to that in June. Although, depending on my reading plans, that might not work out for me. And I've also been doing some more work on Scorpius. Mainly how exactly I want to approach it. I do need to, I think, learn more about writing for comics. I thought they were going to be relatively easy to do, and I just, I need to do more research on that. So I played around with either doing it as sort of a one novel somehow, because I had the idea of trying to, as much as possible, emulate sort of this storytelling techniques in comic books in a strictly prose format. And I'm not entirely sure how to work that out. I have read like superhero novels, and I've not particularly cared for any of them. They're basically, the superhero elements are more like window dressing or furniture than really the core of the story. There's something else going on, and I really don't particularly care for that, or haven't to date. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. I do know, to a degree, that all of the ideas I've been having for arcs and stories to tell in this world, that a single novel might not necessarily work. And I don't know necessarily if I do want to do sort of a novel arc sort of structure. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to play out. I've also returned to my NaNoWriMo project from about it would be 2018 when I tried to do the Fates of Chaos. There, I'm still working out. So I have an idea for what I want, like the inciting incident, the sort of the status quo at the beginning of the novel or the project is, and I'm not entirely sure how to, like, where to go from there. But I think I'm getting closer, to figuring that out. And I'll probably play around with that over the next few weeks. Um, and then I'm also working on a project that is definitely a standalone novel. It's so I used to have a blog a few years ago. I haven't updated it in about 2 years now. But one year I did in October I did 31 blog posts, and a lot of those I talked about my writing goals, and I wanted to do a sort of a contemporary fantasy or a fantastic, like a realistic fantasy, and with like touches of Gothic literature and a few other things. And I've been coming back to it occasionally, and I have some ideas on it. Some ideas I really like, although I'm not entirely sure where the fantastic part's going to come from. So I don't know necessarily if I should keep trying to find like a way in for the fantastic, or just, yeah, it's a realistic novel with like it's a contemporary Southern Gothic, if you will. And then I also have another project that'll be like a massive portal fantasy that I kind of come back to. I'm in here. I'm not entirely sure. I mentioned like with Scorpius how I'm going to do it. I know because there's like, can I do like a big book where, I mean, the characters travel to multiple worlds in one big book, or should I a world a book, or should again some kind of serialized comic project or something like that? So, I'm not entirely sure. I need to work on that too, and hopefully I can get into a position where I can actually start to get around to writing a lot of these projects one way or another. So, yeah. Anyway, that's where my writing is at the moment. Hopefully, I'll have some more interesting things to report next week. I'm planning on doing like a regular Wednesday Writes video, so that way, yeah, I have like something on Wednesday rather than if there's a tag I missed on Tuesday. Anyway, so until next time, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. We've been having some storms lately. I would have done this video earlier because I like to film at either 12:30 or 6:30 Central Standard Time or Central Time. And I would have done this at 12:30, but we were having storms in the region area. So I was watching the weather. Yeah, lots of hail to the point where it actually looks like winter. Up like in more northerly climes, we very rarely get snow or sleet to the point where it covers the ground. I think the last time was 20. The last time I can remember, like there was a major snow coverage on the ground was when the Super Bowl was at Texas Stadium or AT&T Stadium. It's basically Jerry World, but Yeah, it had some formal name. I think it's AT&T Stadium. Anyway, but yeah, the ground in a lot of places was actually covered with hail, making it look like it was winter. Fortunately, not it wasn't tornadic, and where I live, we only caught the westernmost edges of it, so we didn't really have much to worry about. So anyway, so I will hopefully have a video up tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure what, and obviously Friday there will be weekly reads and a book haul. Now, whether or not we will have a new book uh, coming in between now and Friday, or that'll be the first book for June, I don't know. But anyway, so far it's going to be a massive book haul regardless. Obviously, yeah. Anyway, so until next time, BookTube, thank you and have a great evening and stay safe.